Southern Africa, home of many wild animals. Whether small or big, especially the young animals, are in need of human help. And when the young ones are strong enough, the animal rescuers help them to settle back into the wild. In this episode of Raising Wildlife, Taki's a curious wild dog and his porcupine best mate share a special bond. A rare experience unfolds at Loebis Predator Park. Daniel, the greedy lion cub, wants all the milk. Barney, a barn owl chick, gets a visit from the vet to test his blood. Brother and sister sold their car to care for a cheetah and start a facility, and get to know a rescued family of bat-eared foxes with special eating habits. First, we travel to Loebis Predator Park, situated at the foot of the Waterberg Escarpment in Limpopo. As the sun rises on a new day, work begins at the facility. The park was founded to educate the public about apex predators and other hunters. Annel, experienced caretaker, makes her morning rounds before attending to her baby animals.
I'm Annel Snowman and I'm the caretaker of Loebis Predator Park.
On the priority list are the babies of the park. Taki's, in his usual slumber mode, waits patiently for breakfast, while Porky the porcupine is already up and waiting.
Okay guys, so we need to feed Taki's and Porky. Every 4 hours they need to get their bottle. And then we have Daniel that also wants to have bottle.
Annel perhaps forgot how needy Daniel the lion gets around milk. Not even Annel can keep a hungry lion cub back. He will need to be taken away momentarily.
Daniel is always causing trouble. Kom. Kom Taki, kom Porky. Kom. Kom Porky. Let's see. Nee, wacht Daniel. Feinand, can you please come and get Daniel for me for 2 seconds? As hy gaan. Ek kom. Okay guys, so this is Porky. Porky came about 2 months ago and he was very young, so he's now 2 months and 2 weeks old.
Porky, found alone, was rushed to Annel's care.
I don't really know what was the circumstances, where's Porky's mom and dad, so Porky was rescued. Hey, Porky.
Daniel, in the meantime, is growing impatient and wants his milk.
Porky and Taki's must get bottle every 4 hours, and then Taki's is on meat already, and Porky on, oh, you see, here's Daniel again. Daniel share. He likes his bottle. Hold on. Please, Raymond. You see, lions can be aggressive too.
The lion cub will have his chance next, but the babies must feed first.
Porky. Taki's, kom. Kom, Taki's. Kom, Taki's. Kom, Isa. Hello, Taki's. Kom. Okay, so Taki's, the wild dog puppy, and Porky were on the same time as babies. They came to me. So they were raised together, and like you can see, best friends. Tuma. Gaan jou Tiki vat, nee? Okay, he thinks I'm going to take his bottle.
The prickly youngster doesn't want to share. That is why Annel is their surrogate mother and makes sure every small animal is fed enough.
Porky, the milk that the predators and like Taki's need to drink is formulated milk. We use Espilac. That is milk that's formulated for all the kinds of predators.
Typically, a pup would need mother's milk for 5 weeks before going on to solids.
Taki's was born here on the farm here at Loebis, and the one night it was very cold, and the puppies didn't survive, and Takis was the only one that I could rescue from the pups. And then he was about 2 days old when I got him out and put him on bottle. To keep puppies like the wild dogs, there's a lot of maintenance going into them and a lot of work. When he was 2 days old, it is bottle fed every 2 hours. You need to wean them, you need to stimulate them.
After 5 weeks being fed by their mother, the puppies are then fed by the females in the pack. By 10 weeks, they start hunting. Later, Daniel gets some of his own medicine when he's trying to eat his meat. We travel far north to Free and Wild Rehabilitation Centre on the border of South Africa and Mozambique. Situated on the Crocodile River overlooking the Kruger National Park, this facility is new to the region. This wildlife centre was recently built as there wasn't one of its kind in the area.
I'm Deidre Joubert, and we're at Wild and Free Wildlife Rehabilitation Centre.
Deidre has a passion for wild birds, and in particular barn owls common to this area. Barney, the young chick, arrived at the centre in bad shape and was fighting for his life.
We are going to feed the barn owl. He's about a month and a half old.
The chick still has his fluff, common with young owls his age, and still needs his caretaker's help to feed.
Well, we nearly lost him. It took me 3 days to tube him.
Barney and his family lived in the ceiling of a house being renovated when the ceiling collapsed. Barney was the sole survivor.
He's got a strong spirit. That is the call, which they call for the mom, saying that they're hungry. What we feed him is chicken breasts with calcium.
This helps with his feather and bone development, especially at his age, when his growth is accelerated.
If they don't get the calcium, they will never be able to be released again.
Naturally in the wild, barn owls will catch mice and rats, even small birds.
We still hand feed him, but we put food down to encourage him to start picking up, which he has done since last night. But we still hand feed him until he can feed himself fully. Otherwise, he just loses weight, and then we sit with another problem.
He's unable to hunt for himself, but will in about 3 months.
As soon as they lost all their fluff and they start eating by themselves, then they will be able to fly. Then they can fly away if they're in trouble, and they can start hunting. So, yeah, this age, they're very vulnerable still.
Barney will play a big role in the ecosystem when he is old enough to be released.
It looks like Barney has finished his breakfast, so I'll be closing him up. It's time to go to bed, so let me quickly close him up for a nice sleep.
Covering the chick mimics being in a nest, and the baby feels secure. Later, Barney must be tested for viruses. If he fails, he might have to be isolated. We return to Loebis Predator Park, situated in the vacation town of Bela-Bella in South Africa. This site is home to orphaned wildlife that will need care for the rest of their lives, like Daniel, who is set free now so he too can be fed.
Okay, guys, so now it's Daniel's turn for bottle. So, Daniel, I say this okay.
Apex hunters like Daniel need milk every 4 hours to meet his growth needs.
Daniel must get food also every 4 hours. He likes to get his bottle. And then he's also on solids now. And like you can see, he's very fond of his bottle. And he doesn't like to share. I say it's okay. It's okay. Okay, so I have my own wildlife nursery, like you can see. They all need a lot of attention, affection and love. And then later today, we will take Daniel for a walk for his exercise. But first he needs his bottle.
The busy cub will be weaned off milk soon, as he has begun eating solids.
Okay, let me go and get your meat. Okay.
While Annel fetches their meat, the playful lion cub does what he does best at this age, play.
Kom. Kom, Takkies. Kom, Pokkie. That's safe. Okay, let me give Daniel his food. There you go.
The two predators, lion and wild dog, have moved onto solids, meat, which provides the necessary protein they need.
Like you can see with the wild dog, how quickly he eats. Because they don't chew their food, they just swallow it, so you can see the stomach is very full. Wild dogs do eat their food very quickly because when they're bigger, what they do, the healthy dogs will go out hunting, and then the sick, the puppies and the old will stay in the den.
But here at Loebis, all the young babies are kept together and sometimes their personalities take over.
Lily.
And sometimes it can cause chaos, and Annel needs to intervene on Daniel's behalf. After all, they're all still small. Annel hears her leopard calling. Annel has been waiting for this moment for 100 days now. Let's return to Free and Wild Rehabilitation Centre in Hectorspruit in Mpumalanga. The farms in the region produce sugarcane, subtropical fruit and vegetables. Perfectly positioned near the Kruger Park, this facility is home to injured and orphaned bird life. The care of wild birds is a challenge as they're more prone to be carriers of several viruses like bird flu, known as avian influenza. The local vet has arrived for routine checkups on the various barn owls, especially the new one, Barney.
How are you doing?
Okay, yourself?
Fine, thank you.
You need to bleed.
Yes, please.
Bleeding a bird means taking a sample of blood from below its wing to be tested at a lab.
Right. Take a Barney and put him on his back so that we can access his veins on the bottom of his wing.
Come on, just want to close his lid.
He's busy, huh?
You close him up, he immediately relaxes.
Yeah. So we'll open up the wing, remove a bit of the feathers so that we can see the little vein we want to take blood from.
The blood sample will be tested for the H1N7 virus, commonly known as bird flu.
It's part of an avian survey that the government is doing to see the extent of the disease, and this specifically is to assist and to help us to find out if there's any avian influenza in the vicinity.
Barney is a new arrival to the sanctuary, so all precautions must be taken to prevent any form of outbreak with the other owls.
How much do you need normally?
Well, they want 250 microliters, which is 0.25 of a milliliter, to be able to do test on the N5 H1 virus.
The procedure is complete, and Barney has remained calm throughout.
Okay. Deidre,
Thank you.
Barney is done.
Thank you.
Barney's test was negative, which means he will move in with the bigger owls. Now we travel to Felidae Wildlife Centre in Kimberley in the Northern Cape, South Africa. The facility is situated in an arid part of the country where the environment is tough on all who live in it. Felidae was started with one cheetah and has since diversed into a sanctuary for all orphaned wildlife, mainly cat species in the region. Brother and sister team are responsible for starting the wildlife orphanage. Chriszanne and her brother started from humble beginnings and adding new animals onto their sanctuary when possible. Originally, Nicol sold his vehicle so he could take in a cheetah who could not be released but would receive the right care. And thus began Felidae Sanctuary, caring for unreleasable wildlife.
Okay, this is Zina. She's our female cheetah we have here on the farm. Zina is now just over 2 years of age. The previous place where we got Zina, she was hand-raised with the people in the house.
Zina, common to all cheetah, has 2 black marks below her eyes. These 2 black marks, known as tear marks, they work like sunglasses. They shade the cheetah from the harsh sun. Like human fingerprints, no 2 tear marks are the same on any 2 cheetah.
Right, there's quite a lot of people that has these cheetahs as so-called pets. They think because they are the smallest of the big cat predators, they're not that dangerous. These guys are still a wild animal. They still belong outside in nature. They still belong in the grass and in the veld. My opinion of these guys is to keep them in nature, keep them as close as possible to the original area where they used to be.
The brother and sister team know keeping Zina in her natural habitat will help her if she is ever to be released back into the wild.
All right, so over here we have our Badgered fox family. Our dad started off with, when we were driving through the veld, we managed to find him where the mum died. So we took him and his brother in, bottle feed them and hand raise them. At that moment they were too young to leave them in the veld, but also too old to hand raise them completely.
This fox family of males lost a brother living in the harsh terrain and were found dehydrated.
So yeah, you guys can join me inside and then we're going to go and feed them their normal food. What they get with us is some dog pellets.
Chriszanne acquired a female to grow the family since there were no females, ensuring the longevity of the fox pack. Bucky's, though, is the alpha male. Bat-eared foxes normally stay together as a family unit and are not solitary animals. They will stay together throughout their lives.
Foxes live on insects, termites, mice and scorpion.
This species of fox were coined because of their big ears. They have incredible hearing abilities, which they use while digging underground for food. A big misconception about this breed of fox is they hunt and kill sheep. This is impossible, as they do not have canine teeth, but only molars for chewing. Their main diet consists of insects, which also provide them with most of their water. Now, this family of foxes will prosper again.
We started this job 7 years ago and we can't imagine ourselves in a different spot than anything else doing this daily.
We don't work like an 8-to-5 job. We're working 24/7, but I cannot one day say it was a job. It's every day living just a dream.
Passion for wildlife is everything when living in this part of South Africa. We return to Loebis Predator Park in Limpopo, a province dependent on farming and wildlife tourism. Loebis is home to several big cats that will need care for the rest of their lives. Annel's own motherly instincts have kicked in, knowing her leopard could give birth at any moment. This is a rare opportunity to witness a leopard being born.
It looks like a healthy baby. I'm super excited. This is so special. But this one looks very healthy. This is the best feeling ever.
This is the mother's first cub, and all seems to be going well. A healthy leopard cub born after 100 days of gestation. She could give birth to more.
So let's hope there will be another one soon. Leopards can get babies between 2 to 4. Average is 2 normally.
The baby's first growl and needing to suckle. That growling indicates another cub could be on the way. In the wild, a human would not be able to get this close to a leopard while giving birth. In this case, Annel hand-raised this leopard and identifies Annel as its own mother.
And now she's cleaning the second one. And there's his first sound that he's making. There's the babies. There's two. Oh, yes.
New mom and babies are healthy. The birth of 2 new leopard cubs is nature's marvel.
I don't even... This is exciting. I'm so excited. There's 2 babies that was born, and it's my first 2 leopard babies on this park that's born here. So let's hope for good news the rest of the day.
We return for the last time to Free and Wild Rehabilitation Centre, nestled alongside the Crocodile River. Deidre decided to build her facility focused on wild birds in the area. 3 larger barn owls are about to be released into a bigger enclosure. Deidre and her assistant Linda will first need to catch the owls and then move them into a new home.
We've got 5 barn owls in here. 3 of them need to go to a bigger cage to exercise their flight before release. So let's see.
Barn owls are not territorial species, so moving them into a larger space should be okay as well as suit them, so they can exercise their wings more.
If they're in the box, then they relax immediately. I need to cover it. Open this up. Oh, it's always difficult. They're so good in flight, but they need to go to the bigger cage. It's time. Come, Papa. Come, come.
The 3 juvenile nightbirds will be kept together as they have always known each other.
This one went much easier. Now we can take them to the flight cage. Bigger cage, much bigger cage. Could you carry that for me? Thank you, Linda. That's it.
The 3 birds are safe and calm and now off to their new dwelling.
Thank you, Linda. That's it. Let's go.
Deidre will be doing a soft release now. The bigger enclosure will allow the juveniles to exercise their wings. After a couple of weeks, the 3 siblings will be released fully into the wild.
Now, I'm going to open up the cage so they can go out, and I want them to go out on their own.
Releasing the barn owls during the day will allow them to test the structure and size of the cage before night falls.
They just now calming down, see the environment, see that the door is open, and then they'll probably come out as soon as they feel safe. Then they'll start coming out.
The new enclosure offers the barn owls time to exercise in preparation for their release in a week's time.
This is their pre-release cage. They have to exercise. They were in a smaller cage, so they need to exercise their wings and flight and make sure that they can fly properly. There's no hidden injuries that I haven't seen.
Sometimes the birds need a little encouragement, enough to get them to enjoy their new home. Once all the juveniles are out, they will begin a new journey on the way to be released. The barn owls first test the enclosure to understand where they are and the boundaries of their new enclosure. After a short time, they will settle in and experience their bigger space. We return to Loebis Predator Park, situated 2 hours from Johannesburg. Daniel, the baby lion, waits for his walk with his caretaker, Annel. This is Daniel's favourite activity, walking among the many other wild animals. This is a unique experience for the energetic youngster because in nature, lions would not walk past another wild animal. Daniel hears a familiar sound and is drawn in that direction. He's come across his own kind, an adult lion. Curiosity takes over and the presence of another male lion intrigues Daniel. More curious is how the bigger lion does not want to attack his much smaller counterpart. Perhaps in the wild the situation might be different without a fence between them. Today, Daniel will continue with his walk uninterrupted, and in 3 to 4 years, he will be as big as the adult lion within the cage.